What up, Naughty Steppers? It's Connor Whitmore here again with another review for you on the Nawtystep channel, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the Sophomore EP from Kill the Noise, released on Owsla, Kill Kill Kill. Well, I say EP, but we'll get to that in a bit. Jacob Stanczak's second multi-track project was another that arrived at a very fruitful time for dark electronic music generally. Right towards the end of 2011, alongside other collections like Skrillex's Bangarang and Knife Party's 100% No Modern Talking, which I reviewed in my last video. Yet this one brought a brand of filth to the table that I'm not sure we had seen this extensively and to this quality before. Unleashing an animation in dubstep and electro house that opened new pathways of appreciation for both genres entirely. A surprise with regard to Stanczak individually, who until then had shown the Kill the Noise idea off as a predominantly experimental one, as evidenced in his Roots EP and his remixes for the Retro Kids and Vega. A pretty drastic switch from his earlier days as E1, where since 2004 he had been plying his trade as a drum and bass artist, becoming one of the genre's hottest prospects. But fast forward to late 2011, 3 years into the Kill the Noise project, and Stanczak was on hand to show us its latest development in style. Now, I mentioned at the start that Kill 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 is an EP, and if we're talking solely about Kill the Noise's 6 tracks, then I'd be justified in calling it that. But the reality is that there are 4 remixes at the end of this project, taking it to a total of 10, which is more like an album. So from different perspectives it can be interpreted as either, but each track does stem from his original production, and the project in itself is an album, so I will be calling it that from now on. An album disguised as an EP, if you will. Now, we had garnered an insight into Stanczak's latest directional change prior to Kill Kill Kill, thanks to a handful of remixes released earlier that year. Edits for Cohen Sound, Porter Robinson, Sway and Five Finger Death Punch that showed him delving into slower, more enduring tempos and much heavier sounds. Dipping back into drum and bass every so often, but mostly displaying a much meatier, more savage sound than we were used to from him. These remixes, along with a Feed Me collaboration entitled Muscle Rollers, showing us that Stanczak really meant business in the grungiest realms of dark electronic music. Setting us up very well for his second main project as Kill the Noise, yet I'm not sure anyone expected something this fantastic across the 10 tracks. I touched on the idea that Kill 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 had a certain cartoony feel to it that I don't think we had seen to this level in bass music before. Of course, you had others like Skrillex and Nero taking the scene by storm around that time, but no one had created a project as simultaneously feel-good as it was dark and gruesome as Stanczak did here. This extremely refined, high-definition aesthetic, vibrant and colourful, was much needed at a time when bass music was honing in on the darkest designs possible. Even in its most unforgiving songs, there's a sonic clarity that makes it more enjoyable on the surface than your average stuff of that ilk that was coming out then. There is even a wealth of very uplifting material in amidst the filth that enhances the joyous aspect of it tenfold. And there is no better place to start on that front than with tracks 2 and 4, Deal With It and She Likes to Party, respectively. Seriously upbeat electro house tracks that stood as the main connection to Kill the Noise's most immediate previous work. The former, Deal With It, flips the album on its head, following the brutal opening track Kill the Noise Part 1, welcoming us into the light with a warm, muffled introductory bass line. Fuzzy and disorientating in its heaviest parts, yet still very groovy and rhythmical, stacked with futuristic sounds firing at you from all directions, and with one of the best samples to ever be used in a dark electronic music song, You know the one.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
She Likes to Party is again very high tempo, a track that builds very well, incorporating sprightly synths and exasperated samples to make it feel extra alert. The main lead slaloming and snaking throughout your mind, another that establishes a genuine rhythm and is ultimately a lot of fun, quirky and out there. The feel-good factor is also felt in heavier tracks like Real Life and Dying, albeit in entirely different ways. Track 3, Real Life, is undeniably heavy, with full throttle drops teeming with robotic belches and jagged, skittish effects. But more than that, it has a charm to it that makes it, above all, an inviting song, an amazing curvature to the production that protects you in its loving dubstep arms. Also, the main lead in this track is up there with my favourite parts on the whole album. Track 4, Dying, brings the feel good in a more emotional way, tender and delicate yet very purposeful, the instrumental and Emily Hudson's vocal coming together expertly. Unerringly devilish yet also euphoric and dreamy, really gets you in the feels, and a fitting way to round off Kill the Noise's input on this album. But for many, upon hearing this project, it was all about the darkest stuff that Stanczak had to offer, which is where its impact is felt most. Track 5, Talk to Me, is straight up one of the creepiest, most unsettling dubstep tracks I've ever heard, and that's really saying something. With the jarring phone ring, hellish drop sounds, and demented vocal sample that gets right under your skin, as the listener, you feel like there's no escaping the wrath of this track. It also navigates significant genre and tempo changes very well. A lot comes together to make this track as disturbing and unnerving as it is. But the pièce de résistance, ladies and gentlemen, with absolutely no doubt, arrives at the album's inception with Kill the Noise Part 1. The first solo dubstep track we heard from Kill the Noise is potentially his most complete ever, with perhaps the best intro dubstep has ever seen, an incredible time-stopping nature to it, in its beautiful musicality and cinematic approach. Not to mention the clamours of Kill the Noise as the track surges towards its first drop, amazing patience in construction, with everything coming in at the exact right moments. The dubstep is scything and guttural, earthy and mechanical, giving us a glimpse into a mindless, cyber-zombie controlled future. The momentum and control of it is also remarkable, revisiting certain themes, melodies and sounds astutely throughout. You can just picture the scene he's trying to create through the music. Shivers down my spine from start to finish whenever I hear this track, one of the best in modern dubstep. But love must also, of course, be given to the other 4 tracks on Kill Kill Kill, the remixes, all of which work towards making this project the classic that it is. Funnily enough, I was gonna do Black Magic for this classic review because of the remixes here, which I just assumed I didn't like without looking. But when I heard them again, I remembered that I loved them all, and just had no idea that they were all a part of this album. Edits that do well to tap into the patterns set by Kill the Noise's originals, meaning that you get the mix of moods and energies heard in his tracks on the remixes. The uplifting one comes in Brown and Gammon's remix of Dying, which is quite the journey at 5 minutes and 8 seconds long. However, it holds your attention through the jumpy, playful dubstep, reminiscent of Flux Pavilion and Dr. P, a sweet listen with a multitude of memorable moments. Both uplifting and dark is the Alvin Risk take on Kill the Noise Part 1, some vintage, surreal, circus-like EDM production, supplemented with these mighty, beastly drops. Cohen Sound's weighty edit of Deal With It is everything you would want from them minus the funk, wavy, vacuous production, the duo in full neuro-inspired flow. Yet my pick of the bunch, and only just, comes from Dylan Francis with his remix of Kill the Noise Part 1. He retained all the important parts of the original and gave it new life by putting his own stamp on it in a clear and ambitious way. How he plays with the main melody gives the dubstep this plodding, swaggering quality, has eerie moments of vulnerability and reflection too. It just does everything that it sets out to do so well, transforming the original without taking anything away from it. Very powerful. Oh, he used to be so good. But generally, with Kill Kill Kill, Stanczak introduced us to what I feel was a new way of producing and admiring dubstep altogether. Beyond the animation and exceptional sonic clarity, it was dubstep with a respect for space and timing that hadn't been seen before. It was also futuristic, not only in the images it conjured up, but also in showing what lay ahead for dubstep production, as the likes of Virtual Riot would excel more and more in their design. Full of musical prowess on all fronts as well, and stylistically varied, but not too much in keeping mostly to two styles of music. With a myriad of different atmospheres, vibes, and energies created, not only across the originals but the remixes too. Holding the attention from beginning to end through the happiness and evil, bright and dark, as characterful as we had seen a predominantly dubstep project at that point. Bringing the flavour out in dubstep music, when perhaps in other past projects, people had more of a right to label it simply as noise, giving us the impression in the process that the Kill the Noise story was far from over, a brief snippet of his tale with much more of it yet to be told. Just such an impressive album. Things can always go wrong with a few remixes, but Kill 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 shines from track 1 to track 10. The first substantial body of work from the heaviest version of Kill the Noise, and one of the most special that the dark electronic music scene is ever likely to see. And so that is that, guys, for another review on the Nawtystep channel, this time of the sophomore multi-track project from Kill the Noise, Kill Kill Kill. Thank you very much, and as always, for tuning in. Be sure to leave a comment with your thoughts on Kill Kill Kill. Is this EP/album a classic for you? Which tracks are your favourites from it? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, then be sure to give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hitting the notification bell along the way. Nawtystep is all about coverage of bass music across a wide variety of genres, from EP and album reviews to top 5s and top 10s, rave footage, opinion pieces, and more. So again, if that interests you, then consider subscribing. For some other classic reviews on the channel, check out the link next to my head somewhere. If you're not following Nawtystep across social media yet, links to all of those are in the description box down below. And lastly, if it's naughty, then you know, guys, so be sure, as always, to keep it naughty and stay safe. And I shall see all of you legends in the next one. Peace out.